Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna wait for a few people to hop on. How are you guys today? Where are you from? I always ask that. I like to know where people are tuning in from. Where is everybody from? Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hey guys, by the way, I don't know how moderators work on these, but if somebody could be that, or if somebody knows how that works, if you could tell me, because sometimes there's really weird people that jump into these. So I don't know if that will become necessary, but if anybody sees any weird activity, if you could like let me know or do something about it. Saudi, wow. Ashland, Oregon. Hello, Canada. Hello, everybody. It's been so long since I've done a live, but I like doing them. London, awesome. Ireland, Nova Scotia. So I'm kind of going to keep it really casual today. Like any Q&A is fine. I'm going to periodically like chat about polarity integration as well. Someone said um, offering to be a moderator. Let's see. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, I'm not seeing how to add somebody as a moderator, but yeah, hopefully that's fine. I'm kind of technologically inept with this stuff. What is the root of self-sabotage? I think it's like when you're not ready to be yourself. That's literally it. When you don't have the structural capacity to be what you already are, you sabotage it. You click their profile. Oh, okay. What are the headphones for? Why are people asking that more than usual lately? It's headphones. They only do two things. They let you listen to stuff and they block noise. So I don't know what else they could be for. Love that color so much. I know, I like this purple color too. I like purple. You have to click on my name. Okay. I'm gonna tr oh, let's see. Add moderator. Okay. Okay. Yay. Thank you so much. I added you as a moderator. So hopefully no weird people show up. Do you know the book A Course in Miracles? Thoughts? No, I don't. I haven't read it. Um, People say sometimes that my work is like similar to it, but I really intentionally don't read books. I don't want to have any ideas that don't arise naturally. I think it's interesting that way because then whatever I'm seeing is really there and it's not influenced by distortion of any type. And if I haven't found it myself, I have no business talking about it, right? Because how would I know if it's true? So I try to only talk about stuff that I know for sure. How does one get out of toughness? I mean, why are you in it? What are the conditions around it? Because it's not a wrong thing by itself. So if it's misplaced toughness, um, it's just to integrate that. Integration, I think, a lot of the times just means something is an option to you. Um, Something becomes an option to you. So like a lot of stuff we reject, it's not even that you need to take it on. It's just that it needs to be an option, even if you never choose it, because that's true. That's actually just true. Everything is an option, even if you never choose it. So if you dock with that internally, then you have truth. If you know yourself as an agent and you trust yourself, there's no danger of considering every possibility, right? Did you ever go to university? No, I never did. I wouldn't. Will you post this live on YouTube? Yes. I think they automatically record now. So I just wait till it processes and then I post it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, there's these weird AI summaries. They're really messing me up. I do not need summaries in the comments. Let's see. Do you always see the golden plasma geometries? I saw them once for about 20 seconds. No, not all the time. Not all the time. I don't know how to explain my site. It's like all overlaid and it's all overlaid. It's all overlaid. So like even memories and access to the field, it's like a Rolodex. It's like always there. It's always there and accessible. You just go into it, sort of. I don't know if that makes sense. How is your baby? Good. I have 4 kids. They're all great. Let's see. Did you break down the differences between your big systems? Yeah, so Reality Recode is about loops. So everything in your life is a loop. Anything that's repeating is a loop. Anything that's not repeating is a loop. Everything is a loop, meaning it has an origin point and it's self-closing. So like your identity is a self-recursive loop. It's a self-referential loop. Um, any action you're doing, it's being reinforced at some level. So like essentially it shows you a diagnostic of your whole entire fractal architecture, meaning every layer of you, what is the origin of what you're doing and what is it causing? And actually showing you exactly that so that you can choose if that is right for you or if there's an obvious contradiction there that you don't want to be in place. It basically reveals that level of you is all of the loops that are running, which is essentially your operation. Every operation that you're running, it shows you those and it helps you build the ones that you actually want to be running. So, a way to think about it is it shows you your programming and then offers you the clear choice of deprogramming and then shows you how to create your own programs. And essentially, that is your life. Like, your life is your body running programs. That's what gives you the experience of everything that you've ever experienced. So, Reality Recode is about identifying the loops, showing you how to actually read the structure of your life, because before you know how, it's just going to look like your life, right? And it's hard to parse the details of like what is happening actually. What do I have control over actually? So that gives you that entirely and then shows you how to build your own. So that's why it's called Reality Recode. It's literally showing you what is there now, offers you the opportunity to strip it to what you want and then build it to what you want. So it recodes your entire life in that way. That's Reality Recode. The undivided field, which is unlisted at the moment, and it will come back, but not not now. But it's a different resolution of your system. So all of my systems, the big three, Polarity Integration, Reality Recode, and the undivided field, are representing different resolutions of your system. So Reality Recode kind of started at the operations level, where it's like what you're doing, right? Undivided field is the structure of that is pre-doing. It's the structure that makes you do anything. It's behind fractal things. So like fractal mastery, fractal authorship, fractal systems. It's what makes all of that. So you get a different layer of control. You get to see the behind the scenes. And that is a much higher level of control, of authorship, because you're at that level looking at and creating the systems that inform the systems, right? So it's like the origin, the absolute origin of what you are. So, like, what is your capacity? Um, Synchronization between your parts, like that will determine what programs you can run, for example. So, the undivided field is your substrate. It's like a total tuning of your entire substrate. It's stripping away a lot. It kind of requires you to be able to strip it all away because it's pre-programs. So it's not arguing your programs. at all. It's not saying, okay, look at this. Now, how do you feel about that? Is that what you want? That's more what reality recode does. Undivided field is instead saying, um, are you able to do like what you want? It's not really asking you what you want. It's asking, do you have the structural capacity to do it? And gives you entirely how to build structural capacity to do absolutely anything. And it tunes your system. So, like, if parts of you are in conflict, it tunes those to be actually in phase with each other. So, it's a total full system tuning, I would say. And it I don't even know, it's so deep. So, like, reality recode, right? You could do undivided field, which would tune your entire substrate. And then you could do reality recode, which I think is the proper order, actually. But you can do it in any order because they're just different resolutions. So, like, it's like doing your hair and then putting on your shoes. Like, they both still need to get done, right? So, one doesn't replace the other, and you can do them in any order. But, like, maybe it's easier to do XXX, right? Um, and then polarity integration is yet another resolution. It's also an operational layer. So it's to do with what you do rather than, but also it's substrate as well. So it's kind of like a mix of both, actually. And I'm actually going to create like a university or an academy online that is all of them together and more. So this is me sort of getting out the axioms and the substrate of my work. And then from there, I will create more. But oh my God, like it's like an operations manual. It's really like learning physics. So it gives you the tools to do so many other things. It's not really something in itself, it's giving you an education on everything. So it really does teach you everything, anything that you want to do. It gives you the skills of how. And I think that's a really intelligent way to do it because rather than saying, here's how to create this thing in your life, it's like, here's how to become the person that can create anything in your life. So I think it's a lot more useful, actually. I hope that was clarifying. You can ask any more questions if you want. I really like the polarity integration system. Something about its formatting made it digestible. Thank you. Oh, these AI summaries are really weird. They keep messing me up. Quick recap for new people. Um, yeah, this is just a casual Q&A. I'm going to talk about polarity integration a little bit, but also like any question is welcome. Any question, really, I don't care. Um, what are your thoughts on the idea of spiritual hygiene and shielding? It's so unnecessary. You don't need to. Um, I've always said that, but like you really don't need to. There's nothing to protect from. If you need protection from reality itself, you don't need protection. You need integration of reality. You need to become okay with whatever reality presents to you. I don't believe in the idea of shielding and of protection in that way, because if something is true, then it's true. And if you can't exist around something that's true, I see that as my problem. Like I see that as my something I can do something about, not that the reality is wrong, if that makes sense. Um, oh, thank you. I think I'm okay to choose questions. You can pin some too, though, because they're going really fast now. Oh, oh. Clearer? Thanks for telling me to check the mic. Is that clearer? I hope it's not too muffled. Let me know. Any future plans on the Utopia Index? I think I have infinite future plans. I don't know how many of them I'll be able to get to, but yeah, I think I have infinite plans of everything. I don't think I could possibly live long enough to do everything I would do. What percentage of humans currently on Earth have soul origins elsewhere? Everybody. Every single person. Nobody's from a planet. Can you speak on OCD and why it manifests? Mine shows up as unwanted looping thoughts action. Well, there's something in the loop for you. There's something in the loop for you. So instead of
looking at the loop as something wrong, which granted it's a distortion, see what it's actually getting you to do at the very simplest level. And what need is that meeting? Like, what distorted attempt at alignment is it attempting to do? It actually does point you to what is attempting to be done, and what your system is asking for. Oh, what do you think about psychotic and schizophrenic people? What happens to them? I mean, your system is exceedingly complex, and anything can happen. Like, any wire can get crossed, any opening can happen. There's no such thing as psychosis. There's no such thing as schizophrenia. It's just a condition that is attempting to be described, right? And you'll notice overlaps with that and other things as well. So you can tell that it's more of a spectrum of experience rather than an actual pathology. Thoughts on Bashar? I mean, I just don't know anything about it, really. Why is there something rather than nothing? Well, because it is. How to release and recover broken heart. You have to love yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but you have to love yourself. You have to give what you were attempting to get to self. How did everything originate? Why are people asking you questions meant for God? Well, because I have a strange vantage point and I've been out of body a lot, so... And also, God doesn't exist. Why do religions focus a lot on punishment and laws? Well, that's because you externalize your power before you internalize it. That's how evolution goes. You entrain. So people really don't know how to self-govern until it is modeled for them. And if it isn't modeled for them, it can distort. God doesn't exist. Yes, that's what I said. The idea that you have of God does not exist. Higher beings exist, like infinite beings exist. God exists, but not like we think. No, there is no being that is that. The everything, the all, together is a large intelligence. Any amount of anything together is a large intelligence, but there's no one because all is one. To me, God is just the unified field. Yeah. Do angels exist? Yes. Is the IQ with which a person is born something is fixed? No, it's not fixed at all. You can become more intelligent. Sorry, these comments are just going very fast. How do you ground yourself? I think I've never not been grounded. It's very easy for me to be grounded. In fact, that's anything besides that. I feel like I'm being pulled out of it. I really like being rooted. I think that's natural to me. I don't think you need to do anything, really. How do you leave your body? You just have to, you have to decouple from a certain layer, which just involves not identifying with it, essentially. And also letting, I mean, to be honest, like astral projection, for example, you have to let your body go to sleep while you're awake. So if you can go to sleep while staying awake, that's all it is, essentially. Your body goes to sleep, but you stay awake. That's how you consciously astral project. Or are some people drawn to returning to source perspective versus others love human experience? I mean, because we're both. What do you think is happening to our frequencies? I feel everything is getting lighter. You're getting lighter. That's good. Oh, how would you... so fast. Can you talk about Rh negative blood? No, but I will later. Will you live like twice normal human age? No. Okay. Will you release more on parenting? Possibly, yeah. But the parenting, structural polarity parenting course is like very complete. I feel... How do you stay good in a very low moment? It really doesn't matter if you stay good. That's the honest truth. Do whatever you feel. Do whatever you actually feel. You don't need to be fine. You can be really feeling like shit. Let that be okay too. You know, you can't really fake your capacity. I think that's something people need to hear. All this bullshit in the spiritual community about just remember the good, just feel better. Like, just everything is actually okay. Like, it's, you can't lie to your body. If your body is knowing that everything is not okay, then it really doesn't matter to tell it that everything is. So instead, just be with your body. Give it the kindness and the unconditional love of just sitting with it while it feels like shit. And that'll probably be better medicine than trying to make it right when it is wrong. It's okay for it to be wrong. That must be accepted as possible. What does the concept of old soul really means? It just means you've integrated more complexity. That's it. What do you think of spiritual psychosis? I don't believe in that. Do you think this is a simulation? No, it's very real. It's very real. Is lucid dreaming technically like imagination? No, you're really there. It's a real place. It's just more fluid than here. You're in the astral realm. It's just more fluid. But it's, I mean, your imagination is accessing reality. There's no part of your imagination that is not reality. It's your access to the undivided field. It's either a potential or a reality. What are you writing? I'm just writing infinity symbols on a piece of paper. Why do we have dreams while we sleep? Well, to be honest with you, you don't have dreams. You get out of body and you create constructs for yourself, or you go visit real places. That's because your consciousness is at no point not there. So if your body is sleeping, it's going somewhere. And where it goes is either a real place in the astral realm, or it creates a construct to work shit out with itself. It's just always awake. Like, it's never asleep like your body is. So what is polarity integration? So your body is a system. Your whole life, yourself, every layer of you, your body, mind, and soul, is a literal system that's functioning a certain way. It has real mechanics, real architecture, and polarity is sort of a fundamental interaction in the world, in the universe, in reality itself. Every single thing, every component of every single system, whether a human, a star, or any living system, does two functions, which is to contain, hold, and to move through. That's what every single system does at every single scale. In reality, it is a code. It is substrate level code, and your human works the same exact way. So there's parts of you that are to contain, and there's parts of you that are to move and to flow. And if any of those parts are not working correctly, you're going to experience what is commonly referred to as the human experience, full of distortion and pain and misalignment and stuff like that. But it's not necessary. You can be as cleanly running as an ecosystem, you know. So that's what I'm doing, is attempting to make your machine and your system run as it's intended. So to get you though back to sort of tune you back to having functional polarity rather than collapsed polarity, because most people cannot properly contain what they're attempting to, and they also can't flow through self or in any direction that they need to go. Are you just an NPC in my reality? Am I just an NPC in your reality? No, NPCs aren't real. Everybody's real. Can you take that? Can you stomach the fact that everybody is real and that nobody is fake? Do you study Vedic astrology? No, I don't really study anything outside of my own systems. I know you said you don't believe in demons, but I've seen them. Are you willing to conceptualize what they could be? They're just a projection of you. That's it. Symbols are when you can't take structure directly. So anything can appear to you. It doesn't mean that it's real. You would notice, for example, if you stood perfectly calm and had no fear and were loving, you'd notice that image shift or that image disappear. It can't stay, actually, because it's a projection. Only that which doesn't shift is always true. Why do some spiritual people say that the self is an ego of the mind? I don't really know how that came about. I don't really understand that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't understand the human seeming desire or need to see self as insufficient. I came without that. I think that's my offering to humanity, is I came without that. I don't see self as deficient. I can't feel that. It's not possible. Self is whole. So I don't know why there's the idea that people are fundamentally wrong or in need of saving. You're not. You are fine. You're not in need of saving. Are you channeling? I mean, always, kind of. Is it possible to see through someone else's eyes when I'm dreaming? Yes. Everyone's a node, and occasionally you can look out of another node. It's possible. It depends on the coupling of that. How do you know if something is your perception versus the actual truth? Well, they're not really different. It's really that you can only access how much truth your perception allows. So you're always accessing truth. Is it distorted? Is it complete? Are there other layers available? Those are questions I would ask that are more important. Okay, and obviously, if there's any contradiction to your perception and reality, you should look at that. That won't be a full truth, you know. Let's see. Have you ever thought about voice acting? I envision your voice in an animated film. No, actually. It's funny because it took me a long time to be able to listen to my own voice. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Is just unconditional love enough to reach other dimensions and memories? No, actually. I mean, yeah, but no. In the afterlife, you could say, I never know what to call it, guys. I need to just land on something because I go between afterlife, astral realm, undivided field. It's just when you're outside of the body and you have free navigation, you do actually have to navigate. Unconditional love is a threshold. It's not the whole thing. It's a threshold into okay, now you've arrived at the basic level of what makes you able to interact with the larger universe. That's what reaching unconditional love gives you. It's not the end all be all. It's a prerequisite. And so you already have that all the time. That's never not been with you. So it doesn't help you navigate necessarily. You actually do need key codes to navigate anywhere. And those key codes are lessons within the context of unconditional love, because nothing is not. How can we align the 3D to our 5D that we desire? I think you're asking, how do you bring your highest awarenesses and aspirations to the physical? And that's just to embody them. So if they're possible, embody it right now. Do it right now. You think You think unconditional love is real? Well, act like it 100% of the time. And that's you doing that already. It's not magical. It's not something else. Why didn't you warn us about this live? I actually did. It's been up. Could you talk about physical attraction and ugliness? I mean, appearance is math. Everyone's just got a pattern, like a math, an equation. I don't think it's really, like, important what somebody looks like. What do you... Do you think it's possible for an average person to reach coherence in this lifetime? I mean, you're always coherent to a certain degree. Everyone is coherent to a certain degree. It's how coherent can you get? And there's not a limit on it, no. Do we have eyebrows? That's genius. Is there anything objective, or is everything an object of mind? Well, no, there are invariants, right? There are cross-domain, scale-agnostic invariants. And that's the only thing I talk about. That's the only thing I talk about, is what survives every single layer and what never changes. And that's always the constraints. That's what you are and the constraints around you. That's it. Everything else is a construct. But the constraints inform what can be constructed, you see? If everyone is real, then what do they mean when they say you're in control of your reality? Well, you're not really in control of your reality. There's not total free will, or else you could choose to be born or not, or choose to be, choose to become a dinosaur immediately. You don't have it. There are nested fractal hierarchy of constraints. And I talk about those in all of my systems. There's a way to work with it, right? You have a maximum level of freedom, and I try to get you there. But all it is knowing which constraints you are subject to and where they run out and where they're non-negotiable, for example. So you're in control of your reality to a certain degree. That's the only true statement. What's the picture coming out of your hand? Oh, there's no... Well, okay. That's what it is right now. I don't know why. Books you love. Gödel, Escher, and Bach. That's a good book. Will this be posted on YouTube? Yes, it will. Is physical damage healable with the mind? Some. It depends. If there's a structural loss or an irreversible structural damage, then no. But up until that point, yes. Can we heal others by sending them energy? You can support their own healing, but no, you can never heal another. All healing is done by the self. Which is why you should never take on anybody else's healing as a project. So can we not choose to be dinosaurs? You can sure try. What is physical reality? It's highly compressed information. It's just highly compressed reality. It's so compressed, which means, like, you know how it's slow here? It's so slow because it's so deeply compressed in order to be slow enough that you can observe at this level of nuance. So time is just information being compressed and slowed down until it appears as a sequence. But in actuality, it's all at once. But you can't access that here because your body is coupled to that sequencing. You also have sequencing. Your heartbeat, your breath rhythm, all those rhythms are actually coupling you to the speed of the body. So you can't necessarily access everything at once, right? But it is there. It does exist. As soon as you're not coupled with the body, you access it again. Why do humans like the appearance of form so much? Why do we gravitate to certain looks? Well, form is actually exhilarating to the soul. Form is the frontier. It is the most exciting thing imaginable. Everything here seems ordinary, and we worship what is not solid. But in actuality, this is the mindfuck. This physical world It's almost like if you were dreaming one night and you spent 20 years dreaming up a perfect castle, and then one night you were there in it. It wouldn't matter if there's dirt on the floor or scuffs on the wall. You'd be like, holy shit, I'm in this. Whoa, like this is solid. Like it's actually the psychedelic thing. So I think that's why actually that humans think form matters, is because it is a structural thing. It is information slowed down. It's real. It's like so real. It's exhilarating. I don't know how else to describe it. Does that mean manifestation is limited? Of course. How to regulate yourself in very disturbing moment I'm in. Honestly, by not leaving yourself, refuse to capitulate to fear. Refuse to see it as if it's consuming you. Just stay with yourself. Just stay with yourself thinking that this feels like shit and that this is scary as hell and that I feel like I'm not going to survive. Just stay with all of those things. Let them be true. Let them be real. That will give your body the safety in order to actually let your nervous system calm down, because your nervous system is thinking that it's a threat. So all you can do is actually not argue with that, but show that it's not a threat by being there for yourself. Say, no, I'm here. It's okay. That lets your body actually calm down. So in a way, you have to allow it and be with it if you can, though that's really hard. You can want to run away, but try not to. Who do you channel? Me? The field? The field. Can we walk through walls? Well, no. You really are real. Your physical body is real. Its structure is real. The constraints are real. That's our boon. That's actually beautiful. How big is the unknown relative to the known? Well, that's relative to whoever and whatever the hell you are. Can you explain twin flames? I don't see that as a real concept. I think once you unify within, that ceases to be a thing. Are memories in the field from other lives? I'm not sure what to call other experiences. It could be, or it could be just from your experience as a soul. It's just your experience. They're both, right? We don't need to separate them because you have both. Why is there pain at all? It's because that's information. It's information. And if you were capable of seeing it without pain, you would avoid the pain. So the pain is an alarm showing you, desperately trying to show you something. It isn't necessary, so to speak. And it doesn't always mean that it's solvable either, just so you know. Are we just a vessel being controlled to serve a higher purpose? No, you're totally yourself. No one can control you, actually. No one's ever controlled you, and no one has been ever able to control you. Because at the deepest levels, you are free. Why do I want to go back to my limited model of reality from before I awakened? Because your nervous system hasn't caught up yet. Once your nervous system catches up, you would feel ick thinking about going back. This whole time I thought you were AI. That's funny. I bet a lot of people do. Did your health improve just from breathing? Yes. And someone asked earlier, how do I breathe? So I guess I will say again, because this is going on YouTube, so probably more people will see this. That'll be good. Essentially, you want your diaphragm to fully expand outward like an umbrella. And it exists about right here. Like cut your torso in half. It exists about right there. So you want to breathe deeply downward, like into your lower belly if possible. But try to slightly, if this doesn't happen naturally, try to just gently tense your lower abdominal muscles and your pelvic floor while you deeply breathe in, so that your belly doesn't totally distend. Because to be honest, you want to create pressure. You want to create maximum internal pressure. That pressure is what moves fluids, lymph, blood, and it's what actually allows your vagus nerve to move freely and to not be locked. So breathe down. Feel a pressure get created, like a pressure chamber. It's a cylinder. Think of it as a cylinder. As you move your diaphragm down and your pelvic floor kind of like meets it, that's all going to create a little bit of pressure. And if you're feeling yourself yawn, or if you feel fluids moving around, or if you hear your spine crack, or like fluid moving in your spine, that's a really good sign that you're creating enough pressure. Because what people don't know is like you need that pressure. It's not passive. It shouldn't, well, it will be passive once you build the muscles to make it so, but it's not really passive. It's really, really strong mechanical force. So if you're not having that, you're probably not moving things around to the degree that would be the most healthy. Yeah. So breathe in through your nose, deeply down. Try to create pressure as low down as possible. And then release gently without thought, slowly. That's how to do it, essentially. I hope that makes sense. But your diaphragm is like a big flat pancake. Think of it with things running through it. So if it's not moving, those are also not moving. You want to expand it outward like an umbrella and move it down. That's the intended movement of your diaphragm. Let's see. That type of breathing is good with singing too. I mean, that's how you should breathe all the time. What are and who creates the laws of physics and what constitutes their limit? Well, every layer has different physics. Reality is like nested layers of constraint, infinite nested layers of constraint. So no one creates that. It's what necessarily must be true. That's it. So propagating from the top, they sort of like expand outward into more and more complexity as you get deeper, I would say. But so in a way, the physics are all the same at each level, but you learn how to integrate them and to become them so they don't affect you. Does that make sense? It's like you integrate physics, for example, which is why it's not that it doesn't apply in other layers. It's that you're not subject to that constraint. So there's not like one limit. Every single layer has its own limits. Breathing main regulator for nervous system. Yeah, your entire body. Your entire body's functioning at every layer depends on you breathing properly. Do you believe in a creator? No, there need not be one. We are all creators. There's not one. We are all it. How to materialize our desires, why it takes so long? Well, because you have a huge delay right now. You don't have instant manifestation, basically, like you do elsewhere. Can you tell us the other factors which cause capacity to fluctuate? I mean, I mentioned everything imaginable. I don't leave anything out. What can I do to help shift a subconscious contradiction to having trouble because of the lodged in my body? Well, if you know what it is, it's not subconscious. So either you know or you don't know. And if you know, then it's not really stuck. What is dopamine like? What does it symbolizes? It doesn't matter what it symbolizes. What it actually does is it's basically what informs your direction. It's a directive hormone, actually. What is the purpose of sleep? What if we don't get enough? Well, all day long, you're kind of taking in distortions and contradictions, and your body needs to actually repair those. And so if you don't get enough sleep, you're not repairing. So you're just accumulating structural distortion, which is like going to contribute to aging and physical problems. After the inhaling into the diaphragm, do I consciously open the ribs and then close when I exhale? You don't have to think about your ribs at all. That's not part of it, really. Like, don't stop their movement. But also, you don't need to do anything specific. Does that mean if we never had structural distortions, we wouldn't need sleep? Yeah, if our world was totally clear and aligned with who we are, you wouldn't need recovery. What do you think of the Abrahamic religions? I mean, there's a lot of distortion, isn't there? What does bipolar disorder symbolize? It's an oscillation issue. An oscillation issue of charge. It's a lack of containment of charge. What does Yeshuani mean? I don't know what it means, but it is my soul's frequency and sound. Closest as you could get. Thoughts on the idea that surrender is the way things will come together? Well, no. You need to take action sometimes. You'll notice that you can't avoid action, even if you want to. That's because it is part of alignment. If action weren't a part of alignment, it wouldn't be a part of reality. So nothing is not necessary. Everything is necessary. Why we are convinced with heaven and hell, I don't know. What is the most common distortion that we could all focus on? Not loving self. Thinking of self as in any way broken or negative or wrong or fearful or anything like that. Everybody needs that. Do you know what coffee does to us energetically? It just borrows some charge and gives it to you faster. But then, of course, it can cause a depletion. How do I upload myself to the 6th dimension? Do you use skincare? No, I don't. I just use olive oil and sugar scrub and Aquaphor for moisturizer. So I don't have any thoughts on it. Maybe it works, maybe not. I wouldn't know. And food, you could just eat what you want. Just eat whatever you feel. How can I tell if things are aligned? I feel tired all the time and nap daily. My dreams are vivid. Those are like 3 totally separate statements, because you can be aligned and feel tired all the time and nap daily. You could be misaligned and feel tired all the time and nap daily. And also your dreams could be vivid no matter what. So how can you tell if things are aligned is if action naturally propels out of you into a clear direction, I would say. That's just the easiest way. I tried EDMR therapy and have been super traumatized. Oh, why? What happened? Belly breath or no belly breath? Your lower abdominal muscles should kind of catch the breath in order to create a pressure. So your belly shouldn't totally distend, but that takes time to build those muscles. So it's just more important that you're breathing lower down into your belly. Thoughts on Grabovoi codes? I don't know what that is. Do you ever see the need to take political action as part of your spiritual journey? I don't think taking any political action is ever necessary, but like taking an action could be necessary. It depends on if it arises authentically within you. If it arises authentically within you as an action to take, it's probably real. It's probably really responding to a real signal. Let's see. This feels like a mosh pit. I'm too sensitive these days. Yeah, it's a lot. Even if the signal goes against the law. Well, I mean, of course, I'm not on here advising you to like go against the law. But there are many laws, right? There are many layers of laws. You guys always ask me like what I think about certain things, and I honestly mainly don't know about them. So if you want to know, like, ask about a specific idea, because I can respond to that, but I without the context, I just don't know about those other books or things. Can we send telepathic messages to another person, and does it have to be consensual? I mean, the degree to which they will receive it is depending on their own alignment and openness and coupling with you. So sure, you can. It doesn't really have to be consensual because it's just happening, right? It's just, you're just thinking thoughts. You're not sending them, actually. You can't send them. It's that you're thinking them and they relate to that. So they're automatically coupling already. And whether they know that or not is the variable. But your thoughts are free. I don't know if you know that. They're legible. They're already not within you. Why are all the big inventors in the past? Well, I don't think they are. But there is a sort of critical lack of new innovation, and that's because a lot of the infrastructure and the structural substrate of what runs our world is not compatible with the next layer. So that's why. So it's almost like a cycle, and it's over, but we're still acting like it's not. So that's why you're not going to see like really life-changing, amazing innovations. It's because that's for the new paradigm, and we have not agreed to enter it yet. I don't know what Sakura, I don't know what that is. Do you drink coffee? Yeah, I love coffee. How can I release the need to control everything? By becoming okay no matter what's happening. It's your capacity to work on. So like, instead of trying to make things okay for your current structure, update your structure so that it can be okay with more. My sister is asking, why do you decide to make this specific type of content? It's the only content that I am and have. There's no other content. This is my most authentic self. I'm talking about the only thing that like matters on a deep level to me. Do you have a kids-friendly version of your teaching? I really don't at the moment, but that's intriguing. I think I will eventually end up making that. Oh, thanks for the cowboy hat. Let's see. Just, yeah, Sakura, if you tell me like a specific idea, I can try to like give my thoughts on it. Where did you grow up? In Texas. I like the kids version idea. Yeah, I think so too. I'll try to work on that. About tattoos. I mean, I don't really have thoughts on tattoos. I do not have tattoos. I don't think it's bad. It's just whatever. Do we choose to incarnate? Yeah, it's always your choice. But it's not like a choice sometimes. For example, you can just be in the field. I know this sounds weird, but you could just be in the field, like flying around and just sort of feel like a magnetic pull. And it's you have no interest in going against it. Like, it's not as if it doesn't matter what it is. You just feel a magnetic pull somewhere and you can start going. And then it's just because you match it so well. So it's very organic a lot of the time, if that makes sense. It becomes very, very, very symbolized when people don't have the neutrality to withstand the actual neutral structure. What does concept of Godhead access mean? I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know about a lot of what people refer to God because I've never seen that in my whole experience. I've never seen that idea anywhere in the cosmos. So I don't know. I think there's many layers of awareness. Infinite, it's a spectrum, so it's infinite. What's more interesting is not the amount of awareness, but like your particular vantage point, your flavor of that awareness, because that's always unique. The way you found that awareness will always have a unique rhythm to it. That's the real individuality, is the way you learn. It's not what you learn, if that makes sense. Does working out hard affect my ascension? Well, you're not ascending, you're already ascended. So what is working out doing for you? Is it giving you something? That's the question. Do you mind if I weaponize your findings? In what way? Do you think astrology is accurate? It can be, yeah. Random Q, do you feel the Earth is already in fourth density or still waiting on the collective? It's in every density. It's in every dimension already. Where are you? You know? How old are you? I'm not yet 30. Why do we work out inside but not work in outside? I don't know. What do I think about angels? I don't really have a lot of thoughts because it's not really my nexus of awareness. My nexus on the other side is like very much ET. It's very much ET and like mechanics. Like, I don't know. I don't have that same vantage or reference point. It's very multi-cosmic, like cosmic international. I don't know how else to say it. It's not really to do with Earth, if that makes sense. Does having children really keep you in the reincarnation loop? No. Can you talk about why we hold tension physically? Is it all mental? No, it's not all mental. It's structural, which is on every layer. So there's physical structure, there's mental structure, there's structure at every layer. So tension is just a pattern. That's it. It can be any layer of you that's holding that pattern. That's why it's tricky, but you can always work with it. Well, you can always work with it on any layer. That's the funny thing is anything can originate anywhere and you can get to it from anywhere. So you're never stuck or ever lost. Whatever is right in front of you is access to whatever you need. And if you don't have it, you don't need it. If your videos give me visceral anxiety, what does that mean? I'm probably pushing up against some identity structures that you're not ready to let go of. And it can feel like that. Probably your identity senses me as a threat. And that's accurate. What do you see for the world in 5 years? I actually can't. We're in a weird time. Can we choose which future Earth timeline we enter? Well, we are a collective. Are deities people worship real to an extent? I mean, yeah. What about work? If I... sorry. Did you choose your name? No. Can spirits affect us? They can affect you to the degree that you allow them to. Oh. What are your best systems or subsystem for finding center for external dominant people? That would be the Containment Masterclass. That is exactly what you're looking for. I'm not listening to anything. If therapy works for me, is that bad? Is it true? I feel like I cannot trust myself. It's not bad if therapy works for you. It's a scaffold. So it's helping you stabilize yourself. That's good. You can also stabilize yourself. So you can absolutely trust yourself. How to address overwhelm? Well, the first thing is you have to stop. You have to actually stop and take a minute and take an index of what you're doing and how much all of it is costing you and drop what you absolutely can. How old is your soul? Where is it from? How many? This is not relevant. It's very old. Let's see. Sorry, the comments are going so fast. Let's see. Hold up, do we choose as a collective, not individually, timeline-wise? Correct. That's correct. That's because that's the most accurate read that reality can make. I've always required more sleep than others. How to know why? It's inconvenient because I have less time. Well, you're probably processing heavily all day and accumulating a lot of distortions, especially if you can see distortion easily. You will be accumulating it all day, not taking it on, but like in the background, it's trying to be resolved. So if you're extremely perceptive, you can be very sleepy and need a lot of rest until you build your capacity for that to be not effortful for you, which is hard. Is the online experience fairly neutral for you? Yeah, I'd say everything is kind of neutral to me. Really missing the... Oh. What is the system book you mentioned you're writing for neurodivergent people? It's not made yet, but I just want you to know that every single system that I make is by an autistic person and for anybody, because your system is not actually one or the other. Neurodivergent people have the same, just slightly, like, how do you say, more ability to have complexity of the same system. Do you shifting is real? What do you think? I don't know if you know that concept. Like reality shifting. Yeah. How can I attract my ideal partner in this lifetime? Soulmates. Like if they're not going to be there, they're really not going to be there anyway. But you should just become your own ideal partner, because then it doesn't matter if they come or not. What does it mean if paranormal activity happens around someone when stressed things flare up? That's actually really normal. Yeah, it's because it's your system making it. It's not actually... Well, another thing is too, on the other side, like beings have entry points here, and it's sometimes through a human system. That's not meaning that they're like co-opting your being, but it's like... You're like an instrument panel. I don't know how else to describe it. You're like you appear as an instrument panel. So there's a lot more information, a lot less personalized information. And so sometimes it can give a weird signature and people can be attracted to that. How are souls different ages if they are all infinite? There is origin points of souls and birth points, just like there is of stars. So, it's not like an age. There's no time. Like, the potential for you has always existed. And you become recursive, meaning has the potential for self-awareness, is an actual loop. At a very certain point. So that happens differently for everybody. It's like if you have bacteria in a petri dish, and it's like, when are they going to phase shift into this? And like, that's the point that you're actually born and you have your own agency. But it is almost like a developmental thing rather than something that is fast and automatic, if that makes sense. It's just like a planet. It has to have sufficient complexity for life to develop, right? It takes time. Why can we not share it? Oh. Our dream experience is akin to the afterlife. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what it's like. How do I work on my reactions to negative actions? They're often aggressive instinctively. Well, that's because they're already wired within you as a rule. So you have to actually go to the rule and see it explicitly and then decide if you actually want to keep it. And if you don't, you have to rewrite the rule. So it's no point working at the point of a reaction already happening. It's no point working in the moment. You have to work on your identity. What is telling you that there's a point to get angry over that? What are you protecting? Like, what's wrong, actually? You have to look at those things and see if there's something that you consciously agree with. And if not, you have to create a new rule. That's the layer you actually work on. What is anger? It feels so foreign to me, but I want to support others experiencing it around me. Well, actually, if you're not able to experience any anger, it probably means you don't have boundary awareness, because anger happens when a boundary is crossed, whether it is a silly boundary or a very real one, whether it's a threatening boundary or a constructed one. It doesn't matter, but it is a boundary crossing. So if you can't access anger at all, it probably means you were desensitized out of thinking that that's a possibility for you. Does government interception within your work ever cross your mind, limit what you release? I'm going to leave that one. Guidance for healing from chronic illness, currently bedbound, missing life. Breathe properly. Diaphragmatic breathing, please. Practice that only for a while. Do you experience anger over boundary crossing? Well, I don't have many constructed boundaries. I just have real ones, and the real ones don't get crossed. Is it okay to be desensitized? Mild nihilism. Well, you're going to miss out on nuance and choice points. Is anger real? Yes, it's real because it exists. You know what's funny is, like, I always, before these lives, I feel the field start to form. And I was like feeling everyone in the room. Like 3 hours ago, it was weird. I was like, oh, hi everybody. What is an example of your real boundary? Well, like, I'm very, very open. So like my real boundaries are actually at the point where action is not negotiable at all anymore. What is the difference between real boundaries and constructed ones? So for example, your skin is a real boundary, right? A constructed boundary might be, let's say you have a distorted belief that tells you that this group of people are wrong. So if that group of people comes near you, that would be crossing your boundary, right? It doesn't mean that group of people is wrong. That's just a rule you have internally, whether it's right or wrong, and it's constructed, meaning it's not necessary or real. Ideally, your boundaries include all of reality, so that nothing ordinary and non-harmful in reality strikes you or triggers you ever. Your boundaries should be very real. They should protect your ability to love, your ability to be yourself. These are real. That's the only thing that is actually a real boundary. You'll notice your skin doesn't jump out and try to stop random things around you. It just is a boundary, you know? Let's see. How did you gain this knowledge? At this point, I just don't know. So you let everyone close to you. No, that's not what being open means. It means all of reality is perceived by me. And I get to decide fully what my role is in that, because I can see it all, because none of it is hidden from me. I have full choice. That's what being open means. It doesn't mean that you let everyone do whatever they want around you. That's not being open. That's not existing, basically. What is your role in your reality? I don't have a role in my reality. How do you get more open and perceptive? I feel like my reality is a thick sludge. You've just become capable of being so. That's all. It's a capacity to be open. It's really hard. You have to build nervous system capacity to be able to withstand reality. That's it. How to not feel drained. Don't leak. and fuel yourself, you're either leaking or you're not fueling yourself properly. How can I know what I want? I'm tired of asking myself. I see different possibilities, but I feel full. You're probably not coupled to your desire for some reason or another. This is talked a lot about in the Charge Masterclass because a lot of people have the experience of not being able to access their own desires, or they genuinely feel like, I don't have a desire. I don't have anything that I want. I'm okay. Or I'm not okay, but I still don't know what I want. That's for a reason. Desire is a very, very specific mechanism that can get shut down. So, the Charge Masterclass goes into extreme depth over that. It would be a whole dissertation. There's developmental reasons why desire gets shut down, though. How to complete grief. You can't complete it. It is not a process. It's a structural condition. And it's for a reason. So until that reason stops being that reason, or you find another reason, it's hard to complete it because it's nothing to complete. It is just a condition. What do you mean leaking when we have low energy? Please give examples. Like, for example, if you have a low capacity of energy, if you have a low amount of energy and you still get on Instagram or TikTok and react internally to videos that upset you, for example, that's leaking because you're just giving away what you don't have. And you're thinking it's neutral, but it's not. It's eating your charge. Unconditional love isn't unconditional tolerance, must maintain structure. Exactly. Unconditional love just means that I don't reject that thing. Doesn't mean you sit next to it. You allow it to exist so that you can have free choice. That's it. Can you explain grief as a condition? Well, structurally, a coupling is there, right? So it's the condition of a structural change in you. But what you have to realize is that coupling is total. So like the bodies can decouple. That's just one layer. The real parts of that person that matter are never going to decouple from your system. They can't. They actually can't. They are always there with you no matter what, because there's nowhere else to go. And that's not going to make sense from our vantage point, but nobody who you've ever loved and lost can leave you. They are there, and they will be there as soon as you are not coupled to the body either. So it helps to realize that they can't go anywhere. I think that would help the process complete, because loss is not real on any level. It can't be. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing has ever been lost. And that's hidden from us here. But I'm just here to tell you that it's never lost, actually. How to get rid of a close, toxic person who has a huge influence in your life? Well, just do it. What do you do for fun? I do a lot for fun. I really like, I'm very autistic. Like, I just like existing. I like walking around my farm. I like being with my kids. I like very slow cooking, like slow cooking, like for 12 hours a meal. I like wandering around and thinking. I really like wandering around and thinking. Just stimming out and walking around in thought. That's my favorite thing. But yeah, very simple. I like stimmy things. So like knitting, anything like that's fun. Kids, yes. How do I stop eating? I eat and eat. Well, I think my answer is not satisfying because I do know that you can build the structural capacity to do anything. You can condition yourself into anything. So it's just to do it. It'll be really hard at first, and then it'll be easier. I guess a lot of people are confused that I have kids. I thought everybody knew that. Actually, like having a very grounded, really busy, normal life is how I know that my shit works. Because you don't need to be in an ashram. You don't need to be at a retreat. You can have super fucking busy life and still keep going up, 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 up. I know that for sure because I've lived it. That's why I also don't believe in non-real spirituality, like non-embodied spirituality. If you can't do it as a busy mom, then it's not real, right? Are you going to teach classical physics one day? No. I might teach real physics one day. Can your courses make one a happier person or help with learning difficulties? It can, yeah. Are you open to making friends online? It's kind of funny because I very much have unmasked entirely. So like, I'm actually really bad at replying to people. That's something that makes me sad about myself a little bit, because unmasked, I don't know. It's like the pressure to reply doesn't arise, even if I really, really enjoy the person and have no reason not to. It's just like I just feel like I'm floating around. And I almost really wish that people that I knew online could just float into my real life, because that's kind of how it is on the other side. You can just visit somebody and just, hey, all right, see you later. And that's kind of how I feel. So like maintaining like traditional friendships and relationships, I would say is difficult for me, because I just can hardly do it. Are you a Gemini? Yes. I feel that way with responding. Yeah, I mean, I just can't. Like, I really want to. I'm one of those. How much time do you dedicate towards spiritual practices in a given week? 0. Literally 0. My life is spiritual. Everything I talk about, I live every single day at maximum volume. And I wouldn't ever put anything out that you can't do like that. Do you like big cities? No. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't ever want to go to a big city. I really don't ever want to be in a city. I don't even like medium cities or small cities. I like the woods, and I like total country. I live just surrounded by trees on acres. Like there's nobody. I like that. How do you relate to your kids? Well, they're just beings. I give them autonomy. I respect them. Let's see. Is calling your friends easier than texting back? No, not always. It's really not easy in any way, because I always have like 12 tabs open. So I also struggle with transitions, because it's like I have to bring all 12 to everything, and I have to bring all 12 into a reply, and I have to bring all 12 into like, it's just a lot to move around. So I kind of just vibe, like that's easiest, if that makes sense. How do you know God? I do not. I have never seen that idea in any layer of any part of reality. In fact, like at the highest levels, all I've actually seen is people trying to understand what is all of this. You think they know, and you think there's God up there, and that it's totally known, but it isn't. At the highest levels, the most advanced beings you could ever meet are also trying to figure out how all of this is happening. So there isn't an accessible thing like that. But all of everything is that intelligence that people refer to. Did you give birth? Yes. I had 4 home births. What about the origin field? What about it? Let's see. Is it accurate to say you believe autism is a concept of symptoms or heightened energetic? I mean, it's just more ability to have complexity, which is actually not a good or a bad thing. It just means you have different lessons and different conditions. Complexity must be integrated. It's not just automatically good. It doesn't mean you automatically can square complex things. It means you have the potential to, which actually is a lot of pressure rather than anything feeling really good. You have to actually get that. It won't be given to you. So I'd say it's just having more potential, and that doesn't necessarily feel good. And it's not easy to enact either. It can be very difficult and impossible in some cases. How to keep going when it's struggle after struggle for years now, like how to get to the good side. I know it sounds weird, but if you can just not try to be getting to the good side, that's best. Because there isn't one. There is only what is right in front of you. So if you can't accept that, there is nothing else to find until you do. And it's not moral. How then do you know the all? I don't know what you mean by that. Insidious drawing. Yeah, kind of. How do I find people like you in the real world? It's so lonely. I don't know. I wouldn't know. How do you eliminate the guilt that comes from neglecting texts and calls from family? It's a struggle. Just have more compassion for yourself, and also trust them and their system, that they can figure it out and they can cope and they can deal, and that it's not too much for them. Because ultimately it's like saying, I feel guilty that I'm in a wheelchair and I can't walk with them instead. It's like, well, that's their issue to deal with. There's nothing to feel guilty about. That is your actual capacity. It's just your actual capacity. So there's nothing to feel bad at, because it doesn't change it. You can increase your capacity, but that's expensive. You said all of consciousness is the closest thing to God at the highest level. Yeah, like everything together is the only thing that comes close to that idea. Everything together. Not any part of it separate. Everything all at once. What's happening when people choose to leave the earth? Why would they? Is it just lack of capacity? Sometimes it is lack of capacity. Sometimes what is being asked to be metabolized is so massive that it is just too hard. What if people expect you to be at that higher capacity? You can gently correct them. And if they don't accept it, that's on them. What's your daily spiritual routine? I have no such thing. I don't have any routine in my day, actually. I'm going to be honest. What's your life path number? 1. You told that material form is iceberg of essence. What about ugly people? You're assuming your appearance is your material form. But actually, your material form is a super quantum computer system that is your body, and it's functioning really amazingly, regardless of what you have going on. If you have a horrible disease, there are so many things coordinating in your body to make you able to breathe still, like to make your heart beat. It's an amazing machine. That's your material form, not the way you look. We think certain fish are ugly. Does that mean they are? No. If we already solidified to this level of compression, then what else is there to bring down or to do? Well, there is to bring the lightness here, and the love, and the everything that is up there. It's to bring it here, so you can have it here in the physical. That's what you're bringing down, is that. So that's why it's hard. It's because that's the level of evolution and development happening right now. So it's not just getting here. It's like, can you act with full freedom and full love, just like up there. Here, if not, we're going to keep going until you can. That's basically what it is. Because there's nothing here that says that you can't. There's nothing barring you from doing it. So we will keep going until we have made this place just like up there. And then we go deeper, for example. Polarity is vastly undermarketed. It's revolutionary. Thank you. I don't think I market very well at all, and I don't really know how. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to make my stuff go mainstream. I don't think it's really meant to. Wow, haven't seen you in a while. I've been posting like almost every day. I think I fall out of people's algorithms. What do you see happening in the next couple 100 years? That's not set yet. We're deciding that right now. Is it far worth it to prioritize enjoyment rather than achievement? What is achievement for you if not enjoying? What is it for then? Achievement shouldn't be for its own arbitrary purpose. Achieving what? For who? You know? Sorry. Trying to catch a comment. Can you speak? Okay, someone was basically saying, can you speak about grounding and resilience when you're so sensitive to everything? And I honestly feel like this is a conditioning process to just realize that you're not going to break. You're never going to know how strong you are unless you're put in impossible situations. You're never going to know that you're not going to actually break until you get to the breaking point, and then you don't. So that's proof. That's proof that you can get in your life right now. So I think that is what I would suggest. Grounding is a natural process. It's what happens when you are there. So like it's ideally a natural process. You don't have to do anything artificial to become resilient. You just have to not be afraid to do hard things, not avoid them, never let fear affect you, and you will naturally build resilience because it will lead you into difficult situations, not always easy, wonderful ones. It will lead you into difficult ones that will grow your capacity. So if you don't agree to go through those, then you won't get that capacity. I know your systems don't need effort, but sometimes it's hard to focus working through some parts. Why? Well, to be honest, I admire anybody who works with my systems because it's like going into territory that your system specifically builds walls around knowing about. So if there's an area that is like very close to like a trigger or very close to like some deep, deep thing about you, your system can literally like add like an overlay of opacity where it's just like you can't see. You can't see. Like it's protecting you, essentially. That could be a reason why. I don't know exactly your situation, but that's very common, actually. When will you post this live? Whenever it processes, probably tonight or tomorrow. Do you think we'll have open contact soon? No, I don't. Why did you, sorry. They're going so fast. I'm trying to catch one. How can you relate to distorted people if you've never been one? Everybody has distortion. Everybody's born with distortion. Why do you think everyone is warning about open contact then? Well, it's open contact within them. So it's real, but it's not going to be collective. If harm and fear doesn't exist, what's your opinion on large scale? Why would harm and fear not exist? Of course they exist. Would you do a conversation with Teal Swan? I mean, I don't know if she would agree with the things I'm saying. How does one reach enlightenment? Don't reject any part of reality. Simple as that. Best way for one person to have the biggest collective impact is to work on your own system. Clean your own system, calibrate it, tune it to be as accurate as possible. And that will be how you can serve the collective the best. Because a clear collective is just clear individuals. It can't be one before the other. Every individual must be clear. So that's your biggest service. What's your opinion on Bashar? I've said it before, I don't really have one. I don't really watch him or know really much about it. Oh, thank you. How old are you? I don't really ever say my age, but I'm curious how old you guys think I am. How to want to be here? Well, you can't force yourself to want to be here. What does make you want to be someplace? Add more of that everywhere you go. This is funny, seeing the ages. I should have worded it better, but you mentioned often there's no danger or anything to fear here. Fear is real because you can feel it, right? It doesn't mean you need it. And also harm is real because you could be harmed, but it doesn't mean you need to fear it. So I know that sounds like parable, but that's as close as I can get to a non-distorted statement. Have you felt a change energy-wise this month? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Everyone guessing 40s. Do I look 40? What are your thoughts on people who claim things like they are king of Lyra or Yeshua reincarnated? I mean, who cares? Indulge them. Hmm. 21 makes me laugh. If you were to be enlightened, how would you know? It's like an unimportant question. Are you able to do what you want to do in life seamlessly? You're probably enlightened then. If you have any struggle whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, you could probably calibrate more. So everything's a spectrum. Were you born with heightened awareness or did you activate? I mean, yeah, I've never done anything to get more. I had like a lot of out-of-body experiences as a kid, and I was very much born without certain programs and with other ones that never went away. So that didn't ever allow me to totally integrate into the human experience in the same way as everybody else, because I already had other reference points by the time I was like 3. So that's the only weird thing about me, I think. Anything about your experiences within ET dominant realms that support us working with your systems? I mean, most ET places are just more normal. Like, they just are less distorted. This is a really, really distorted place. And most places in the universe are not. So ET is just meaning another being. So there's all kinds of beings, and most of them have a better existence. I'm not gonna lie. Most of them are just kind of normal. It's like when you go to a place and you're like, no one here wants to kill me. That's great. Like, that's just, it's normal. So I'd say I'm bringing that of like a functional way of being. That's it. It's not functional, a lot of what's going on here. And it's not even a judgment. It's just not functional. It can't sustain. How to realize if I'm autistic and lean into it? Well, to be honest with you, people who are not autistic don't usually wonder if they are. And it doesn't matter if you are or are not. I would say just be authentically yourself and find out anything that'll allow you to do that. If a label helps you, then that's great. What were your different reference points? Well, I mean, like memories, like I didn't come veiled. So I had memories from the start, and also certain memories unlocked later. And I mean, I've had a Kundalini awakening. I have many out-of-body experiences. So these reference points, that's why it took me a really long time to figure out how to talk and teach, because I had to build it from scratch. Like all I had was weird experiences with absolutely no bridge. I had I had to actually find what is the bridge. And that's what I'm giving, actually. So it wasn't given to me. It's not like I arrived here with that. I had to build it. It was hard, which is why I know that you can. What do I do if I like my job, but it can affect me emotionally? Either build your containment to where it doesn't affect you emotionally, or leave it. Those are the only two options. Or accept it. Did someone just ask if I have blonde highlights? I think my hair is very dark. What is the best way to regulate your nervous system? Becoming okay with everything around you? Then you don't need regulation. You are regulated. Any advice for grid workers? Right now, I would just not do anything unnecessary at all. At all. At all. Not anything. Don't use a single atom of energy that is unnecessary right now. Please. Do you have physical connections with people who understand this? No. Can you explain the fear of going crazy? I just think you don't trust yourself. Advice for manifestors as in human design. I don't mean to be a contrarian, but I don't think there's anybody who is or is not a manifestor. It's a capacity everybody has natively. So what's your particular issue? Rather than look through that frame, what is your actual issue in your actual life? What is a grid worker? It's essentially someone whose nervous system is, I don't want to say advanced, but like has the capacity such that when collective events happen and need to be metabolized, or global things, they just automatically are doing it because they have the capacity to do it. So it's not a role that you choose necessarily, or that it happens automatically. It's like if there's an emergency happening around you and you're one of the only people that can help, you just do. And it's not a choice. So that's really what a grid worker is. Slow cooking right now? No. I am developing this drawing a little bit. How come some of us are born being able to sense what things really are from childhood? Usually it's either the body has the ability to not be that veiled, or you are so lightning that you force the body out of it. It's one of the two. In my case, it was both. You can select for genetics which allow more access to the field, and you can select for ones that allow less. They each offer a valuable experience. What do grid workers do in your perspective? They literally just transmute energy and untangle knots on the grid. Like automatically. Like I see cats as grid workers. I know this sounds funny, but cats are like energy filters. They are like the OG grid workers. If they're in your house, they're really cleaning your house. Just 12-hour cooking. I drink 5-minute shakes. Autistic in different ways. I mean, it's not really that I do it. It's that I like to. If I don't get to do that, I'll eat whatever the fuck. I don't really care. I am both. But if I'm gonna cook, I want to be able to cook for 12 hours. I don't want to have to be rushed. I don't like rushing cooking. I like going very, 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 very slow. Do you think diet matters? I mean, it matters more if you're going against yourself or not. That's what is going to matter more. OMG, yes, what if my cat doesn't like a visitor? It's okay. They'll deal with it. They can handle it. If unmedicated, I experience astral projection, lucid dreaming practically 24/7. Yeah, your coupling is not strong to the body. That's normal too. Another person says, I thought you were AI until now. That's funny. Let's see. Are other ETs queer too? I mean, I would say other races and beings are not actually having like sexuality in the same way that we do. We have so much distortion around that in our plane that like it's not anything to do with anything else, really. It's not the same at all. Like, I don't even almost know where to start with that. Do you write down your thoughts sometimes? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sometimes. But I more voice note record because they're going too fast. It's weird not seeing you in nature. I mean, it's right out there. I'm on my farm. Can you talk more on human sexuality? I mean, the one thing that comes to mind is how much, like, it's not coupled to its true purpose at all on our plane. We have deep, fucked up programs. Like, it's one of the deepest, darkest things, like, in the world. Yeah, it doesn't even exist like that out there. So I don't even know where to start with that. Do you archive your work? In some way. You could say that. Meaning of constantly unrequited love pattern, or that it does not go beyond mere physical attraction. Well, you're needing something from them, but you shouldn't. If you love and it's real, then it doesn't matter what they do at all. It's not making it go away. It's nothing to give back to. Like, real love is just an expression of self. So you either are just this loving self, or you're actually trying to get love from them. That's where it's probably going wrong. What's the real purpose of human sexuality when it's undistorted? Communion and creation, but on every level, like on every level. Do ETs have pets? Honestly, no. Like, not that I've seen for the vast majority, but like, sure, I'm sure. I don't have memory of every single system, so I'm sure it exists, but no, not the advanced ones you're thinking of. Oh. Someone keeps asking, what's your opinion on the apocalyptic era? But like, I don't know what you mean. Be more specific, or like define what you're meaning by that. Advice on setting multiple of your systems simultaneously. I think that my systems would take, like if I was doing them for the first time, I would probably take a long time to do each one, because it's literally going to take physical time, regardless if you grasp it or not, for it to sink down to every layer. So like, I wouldn't speed run them. I would go very, very, very slow. Very slow. I guess that's the only advice I can give, because it is code, so it goes down to every level. So like, if you're speedrunning the system, you will get a level. But if you go very slow, you can kind of see how it's like 10 levels at once, like everything. So it just gives more depth. What's a system? A system is any, like, a system is anything living. It's all around you. How do we do this important task of embodying unconditional love if we don't even know what that is? Well, there's two levels of answer to this. There's like the Gestalt omniscient level, and then there's like the real experiential level. And the Gestalt level is that you're never not doing that, even if you have no idea. And even if you're totally as far away from that concept as you could get, it's always still resolution in motion. Everything you see around you and everything that has ever happened is unconditional love, like spread out into parts and sequence. So nothing isn't that. But if you mean how do you like feel it and embody it and really express it in the physical, that is really more a matter of evolving your nervous system to be able to withstand it rather than it is doing something that's hard. It's not hard. It's what you are. And it's so much that it would lightning strike your body if you felt it all at once. So it's actually more about getting the capacity to feel it. And so, like, the funny thing is that we have an inverted view. Like, we think on this planet, if someone is strong and is like, and like, no, I'm not affected by that, we're like, wow, that's very strong. But actually, it's very weak, because you should be able to be affected maximum and still act freely. Like, that's actually strength, is being able to see it with open eyes and feel it like a lightning, and actually stay there and actually still do what you were going to do and what's right. That's the challenge. It's hard. So that is what I would say. So we're just pieces of a big system experiencing every angle of itself because of our limitations. I would say yes, but not because of our limitations. That's just what we all are, as a collective of every vantage point. I had the lightning strike my body and I went into psychosis. Yeah, I mean, it's real. It's really serious and very real. And you can't play with it. How to experience a Kundalini awakening? I don't know, but mine was triggered by a stretch. A deep, deep hip stretch. Why are you doing what you're doing? Because I am. Why do you think darkness is expressing itself through sexuality? I don't think darkness is expressing itself. I think there's inverted programs. And that becomes structural really fast. Because actually, to run an inverted program, you have to basically initiate your body to distortion and force it to accept that and to run it, which is a whole difficult thing. But if you have thousands of years of people running it, then you're born into the body that is running it already. So then at that point, you have to reverse it. At that point, it seems like your human nature, but it's not. It's still just a pattern that has instantiated itself and calcified itself. Did having kids change your abilities? Yeah, it massively increased them, like 100,000-fold. Women, like, I don't want to get on a high horse, or I'm not judging any type of thing, but like, natural birth is your initiation. It is your birthright. Like, it will change you. It will make you know everything that you can do. I think it's worth it. So yeah, becoming a mom changed me. Are you a negative blood type? Yes. What if I can't have children? There are many other initiations, but it is initiate yourself. Like, still go initiate yourself to very extremely difficult things. Why do I have an extreme physical aversion to birth and pregnancy? I don't know. Let's see. How do you deal with the loneliness with being awake? I really wouldn't say that it's any lonelier than being asleep. It's just less scary. I'd rather be lonely and at ease than lonely and not actually connecting with anybody. having very shallow connections, and then also being like scared about mortality and stuff. That sounds harrowing. What hip stretch? I mean, it's basically, it was the splits, essentially, and like leaning to one side. If other beings in the universe are already normal, that means they can't do cool shit like awaken. I mean, honey love, love bug, honey bun. There's still cool stuff. That's all I was saying. There's really cool stuff that you can do. There's exhilarating freedom once you've gotten your baseline. What if dating disgusts me so much that it makes me angry? There's something in there for you. It's not wrong. But if anything disgusts you to the point of making you angry, it's because you're rejecting that within yourself. Because otherwise you would just be neutral about it, right? If someone called you a purple elephant, it wouldn't strike you. It wouldn't stir anything up. You're just like, oh, that's wrong. So if anything makes you like really stirred up, it's because your identity is tangled up in that somehow. There is a contradiction there for you. Do you believe in aging? Well, yeah, it's around you, isn't it? You can see it happening. It's real. How to recognize that people lie. It makes me paranoid sometimes. I mean, don't make any part of your life contingent on people telling the truth. And then you can neutrally observe, and it really doesn't matter if they lie or not. Just don't make your life contingent on people telling you the truth. Don't make yourself structurally vulnerable in that way, and then it really doesn't matter what they do. Sorry. Just trying to read these. Do you believe any chronic disease can heal? Yeah. You can reverse any pattern that is running, but structural damage is real. So if structural loss or damage has occurred, you're not regrowing a limb. You know what I mean? But you can reverse the pattern that made that happen, and then nothing else will happen, and a lot can heal. But not everything can heal, because structure is real. I wish we were born old and became younger as we spend time here. It'd be a little scary, though, if you lost capacity as you got older. I mean, it does happen to old people, right? It's alarming. Can you speak on self-sabotage? Be more specific. Yeah, I'll upload it to YouTube. Why do you wear headphones all the time? Because it keeps a little bit of noise out, and they're comfortable. Is there meaning to patterns in angel numbers? Not meaning like you would think. Not like you would think, but there is. It's indicating something. But not like one-to-one direct communication like you would imagine it is. But the reality is mirroring something to you. I just got your reality recode. How should I scaffold or build capacity while engaging in it? If you go to the entry protocol on my website on the first page, I think that'll really give you everything that you need in order to engage with it. So I would start there. Let's see. Are you neurodivergent? I think it's amusing that you ask that. Yes, I am. Why do you look like a good dancer? I don't dance. What if you feel too awake to the point of terror and trapped in your body? You need integration now. You need bodily integration now. I advise you, literally, to go to town and get a really good, comforting meal. Don't judge it, whatever it may be. Get a nice candle or something and watch a really distracting movie. And just get in your body and stop thinking for a little bit. And that will allow your body to begin metabolizing what you've brought into it. Take the attention off of your body. Stop thinking about it for a little bit. Just be simple, you know, that can help you integrate. What is integration? It's making yourself okay with something. Nothing in reality is actually wrong or bad or too much for you. So it has to be that you become okay with reality. It's never that you have to make reality okay for yourself. People think that's what it is. Like, to build a life, it's like to craft it perfectly so that I always feel okay. But it's never going to happen. You have to craft yourself to be okay in every situation. That's the actual thing you're looking for. And it's much more difficult, and it requires you to give up the things that you're attached to. But then through giving them up, you become totally free, because then you have the choice of everything. You don't need to be stuck to certain things that you decide make you okay. But if people are abusing drugs, does that mean that's okay? Well, how does that relate? How do you deal with your own anxiety? I'm not going to lie, I have not experienced anxiety in that way in a very, very long time. When you know that everything is fine, that you're fine no matter what, it's hard to feel anxiety. I would say, if anything, I struggle with being immersed in this place enough to feel anxiety. If someone doesn't follow their true purpose, does it shorten their life? You actually can't not follow your true purpose. You can try as many times as you want, and you will always be rerouted back where you're supposed to be. Do we meet our kids after this life? Yes, always. Always, you meet everybody you loved. They don't ever go away. You have to see them, essentially. There's no escaping them. It's not only that you see them again, it's that you can't escape them if you want. Do you agree that neurodivergent people are closer to God as they don't fully integrate with the ego? I don't think anybody's closer or farther away to anything. You're all in a relative position, and all positions are true. And you know everything is fine because you're aware of the structure of reality. Well, it's because I have like memories of being a soul, like memories. I have out-of-body experiences. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. You go on. You're the same person. It's everything that would make you feel scared about the afterlife. If it makes you feel scared, it's not true. If it makes you feel wonderful butterflies and like super exciting exhilaration, it's true. That is a roadmap for what is true on the other side, I can tell you. Reality is loving and amazing. This place is compressed and hard. I have zero memories like that. Yeah, that's okay. You will have them back. Can we see what you're drawing? I mean, it's evolved into this at this point. So, who knows why? Do you work with people one-to-one? I don't at the moment. I used to. What's the purpose of romantic love, if any? It's to see yourself as a mirror and to work on yourself. We're not in the point of, in our reality of being looking outward yet. Like, the funny thing is, like, that's all that we do, but we're actually not mature enough to do that yet. Just turn everything back towards the self. So romantic, what's the purpose? It's to find yourself. It's to express yourself. It's not to do with another person. We're honestly not in the position of being able to be unconditionally loving to other people. Because if you can't give it to yourself, it's not real for anybody else, no matter what you think. When would you be able to look outward? When you have pure unconditional love for self and no part of reality burns you. Until then, just keep turning everything back inward. Everything inward. If something happens you don't like, what is this meaning about me? Like, always just integrate it with self. If a person is bad, is there still love on the other side? Well, no one's bad, and yes, it's what you are. What do you mean no part of reality burns you? Like nothing triggers you. You're totally neutral about every single thing you see and encounter, and nothing seems wrong or bad. That's what I mean. You can accept every single thing and not be changed, like at a fundamental level. What's your favorite movie? I really like Apocalypto. I think it's exhilarating and scary. I wish there was more media, like good media, like nice media. Like, I think my ideal, what I would like to see in movies is like epic, amazing, like other side movies. Like I want to see real reality. Like it's not exciting. What we have here is, it's not exciting compared to what is out there. So I would like to see more actual like stuff from the other side. I know that's not going to happen because there's not the reference point here, but I think we could. There's not many interesting movies because they're like very fear based. So if you're not in that, it's nothing really for you. What are the major things you would want humanity to adopt? Loving yourself, trusting yourself, and being with yourself all the time, and dropping fear. Do you know of any places I can go to rehabilitate where people are there to help you? I mean, no, I don't know any. But if you can't find any, go to a forest, please, and talk to the trees. I know that sounds funny, but you will find support. You will. I feel like when I touch the being okay with everything, it feels kind of empty. Well, that's probably because your nervous system is conditioned for oscillation in that way. It's actually like very quiet. The field is usually very quiet because when you're okay with everything, nothing bumps you. Like you're just fine with it. So it doesn't bump you. It's more observation available when you're not reacting to bump it all the time. What's the biggest obstacle to world peace, individual peace, not being achieved? So you just always felt okay? No, I didn't always feel okay. I was very alarmed as a child at what I was seeing. Will everyone get awakened, even cruel people? Eventually, yeah. There's no other option. That's funny. I hear pigs digging up the yard outside. I was like, is that what I'm hearing? Sure enough. What do you think about horror movies? I hate them. I really don't like horror movies or gore. I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. What's your daily life like? I mean, I don't keep a schedule or a routine for the most part. I really try to keep my day as unobligated as possible. Like, as I don't like making obligations at all. So I try to keep that as clear as possible. I mean, you know, I am a weird person. And to be able to be this weird person, I have to not be doing other stuff. So I really have crafted a life where, for the most part, I have as much freedom of choice as possible. What has been one of the biggest challenges for you in this life? Withstanding the frequency. That's it. Withstanding it here. Have you ever worked a job in wage labor? When I was 16, I had a job for 5 months and never again. Do you have a favorite sport? I played soccer for like 10 or 12 years, in between being crippled. And I eventually had to quit for being crippled. Were you born into a wealthy family? No, I was born into no amount of money at all. In fact, we struggled. I would love to not need a job to make money. I mean, you have to make your own job. Like, I've never not worked for myself. That's what it is. I've never not worked for myself. It's not that I've never worked, but I just enjoy doing what I want to do. And I absolutely, literally can't do what I don't want to do. Were you homeschooled? No, I went to public school actually, I went to private school for a little bit, but it was like a super indoctrinated Christian private school. How did you provide for your kids? No, I didn't say I didn't work. I said I didn't work a job where I was working for somebody else. How does a young lad provide for himself without an evil job? Well, you do have to get creative. Like, what are you good at? What do you like? Where's an opening in the market for that? Simple as that. Like, just do that. If you don't want to compromise yourself out there, compromise in doing what is available to do and what does what you need it to do, right? Can we change our soul contracts before incarnation? There's no need to do that, really. Can structural damage to the nervous system be reversed, or is it the same as missing leg? It depends on what damage, again. So like a broken bone can be repaired. If the bone falls off, it can't. You know, like if it gets destroyed, it can't be replaced. So it depends the level of structural damage and of what. Someone said, do I smoke because my eyes are puffy? Oh, I didn't think they looked puffy. What if you don't even know what you like and what you want, even though you've meditated for years? Your desire is offline, and that's for a reason, and you can get it back. Charge Masterclass goes into that to the extreme because that's where it belongs. It is a part of charge. It's a part of generating charge, and desire is a very specific thing. So it can go offline, but you can get it back. So that's what you need to work on, is getting your desire safely back online. What made you choose to come on Earth knowing you were going to be neurodivergent? I mean, being neurodivergent is like the easiest thing about being on Earth. What made me choose it is, like, that's not the difficult thing. Being neurodivergent is a huge boon. I'm very glad for that. It's not a struggle. It's only an advantage. I don't suffer. And you don't need to either. Like, when I said I've crafted a life, I've crafted the exact life where you can be neurodivergent and it is only an advantage for you. So I know that you can do it. That's not what's difficult about being on Earth. What is difficult is the sheer volume of distortion and the mismatch. Like, I don't match this place and it hurts. It really does. So that was difficult, but I chose it because I love, that's why. And it needed help. So that's enough of a reason. Do you think that your frequency has affected your physical body in any way? Yeah, actually, it's a lot. It took me like a long time to learn how to be in a body. And it was like just frying my nervous system for years and years. And actually, I had a lot of medical issues. Like, a lot. Until I integrated. Do you think we choose specific happenings in our lives? Some are nodes that you can choose, yeah. But some are real choice points where you don't know what's going to happen next. Can you describe some of your off-Earth memories? I mean, I've described a lot recently. So if you go back on my channel, you can probably find a few videos. Why don't you answer questions about Jesus? I mean, it's because I don't really, like, I'm not going to say what you want me to say. That's all. How do you integrate to heal the health issues? Well, like, you have to become okay. That's it. That's all it means. You have to become okay, which isn't as simple as becoming okay. You have to like actually you have to couple with this place. So how I coupled with this place, because I wasn't coupled with it, and that's what burns. So how I coupled with it was like through this work, actually. It's giving yourself a reason to have been experiencing that, right? That helps you integrate. That means that you're fully with it and you're not resisting it or separate from it anymore, which is true in the body as well. If there's only certain things I can do in the body and I actually am with that and doing it, then I'm coupled. So it doesn't burn as much because there's a reason, right? Oh, sorry, it's going really fast. Is polarity integration a supplement to undivided field or vice versa? No, they're totally separate. They're totally different resolutions of your system. So they both are totally independent and totally complete. But they also like completely work together. What if I have this perception that I'm not valuable? I'm not going to give the conventional advice that says like, well, you just obviously are. Go make yourself valuable. Go find where you are. There's something that only you can do. There's something only you can think. If you go, for example, right now, and this probably won't help you if you feel not valuable. You could give yourself something. You could take care of yourself. And that would show you, without a shadow of a doubt, your value. Because look at you taking care of yourself. But if you're asking that question, you're not really docked with self. So go do it for somebody else. Go help somebody else. Go show your impact to yourself. Because once you see that you are providing a value, it's like your brain can't think such a delusion again, that you're not. And helping other people and helping yourself is not where your value lies. But it is a very easy way to show without a doubt that it is there in some form. And then once you see that clearly, you're really not going to be able to go back to that delusion. If you understand most of what you're teaching, what is the best place to start? Your teachings? Yeah, honestly, I would say, I don't think there's anything else out there or anything else as explicit or as complete or precise. Why can't express that I'm autistic on social media? I feel unsafe. Maybe you haven't realized like where it's helping you. Maybe you really do see it as like a negative thing. You just have to change that perspective. Either that's true or not, right? So if it's negative, then then why be authentic about it? It's not a good thing. Well, that's obviously not true. If it is not a negative, then there's no point being ashamed of it. Do you know if Earth is the hardest place to incarnate or the most dense for a soul? I don't think it's the most dense. It's actually not totally dense. It's just everything. It's total. That's the thing that's crazy about it, is it's every layer in play. That's what I'd say is weird about it. And hard. Where does the source of our value lie? You neither have value or don't have it. You don't need it. You just are. You just are existing. You don't need value. You really don't think there are any other teachings out there as complete as yours? Not at the level that I talk at. No. No. And I think if you had ever engaged with my deeper systems, you would probably see why. Why do we have sensitivity to noise? Because you're an instrument. So it impairs your functioning. Like it impedes your functioning as an instrument to be surrounded by lots of noise. Why are some souls very sensitive? Because they're open. They're here. They're really feeling what's going on. Why did you leave Texas? I left Texas a very long time ago. That's why you have organs where it is. No, I don't know that person. That's okay, Dustin. I think, honestly, I'm not trying to call you out, but you've been in my comments for a very long time. And you've been looping the same stuff for a very long time. And the solutions are the same thing. So I think you have to start in a real way there. You know, I don't think you need any of that complexity that is in my systems right now. I think you need to focus on loving yourself and accepting yourself. And that would be a good starting point. Would you visit New Zealand one day? I actually do want to visit New Zealand. It's one of those places. I also want to go to Tasmania. Let's see. You grow by letting go. We add to life by subtracting. Well, it's both, isn't it? Subtraction, but access and expansion into your true self. So it's simultaneous. I've thrived in the unknown multiple times, but why do I still fear it? That's because your actual human body and nervous system is not designed to thrive in the unknown. It requires you, like, actually training it to do it. It's like training your system to evolve. So, like, your system is flexible and plastic to a certain degree. So to grow it and to expand it, you have to go against a little bit what's there in order to stretch it out. So you can train your nervous system to not fear the unknown, but its default is to do so because it relies on information to keep itself safe. It has tighter constraints than your actual self does. That's what I will say. So it needs to be taught and held as it goes through it. But you are the one to teach it and hold it. You can't defer to the body. You have to guide it. Advice to stop fearing my own mortality, even though I've experienced it. It's just a transition. I'm going to be honest. The way that went away for me is like having my experiences. So I don't have a good advice to say, like, how to stop fearing your own mortality, because I think it's very natural and very normal, and it's literally a program that's installed in your body. The only reason I don't is because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I felt it, and I've been there. So without that, I don't know, actually, candidly. But I can only represent what I have and am, and to say that it is true, that you really don't need to. You're the exact same person as soon as you transition as you are now. You're not even different. You're still this person. Like, you're not going to be able, like, not be able to relate, for example. It's kind of funny. Are you able to do energy work, like emitting energy from your hands, such as Reiki? That's not the way that I work. The way that my field is functioning as in that way is that it's a big field. It's a big, giant field that's holding a set of conditions that everybody gets to be within. So it isn't directed through my hands. It's just a big field that everyone's getting, if that makes sense. How do you say your name or TikTok name? Yeshuani. What are your views on chosen ones? I don't know what that is at all. Let's see. I have trouble speaking and expressing. Have you ever struggled with this? Yes, insanely. I think expressing yourself is a conditioning process. It's like literally building the neural pathways to express what is inside of you. You have to build it. I don't think it's necessarily natural for anybody, unless you're not explaining very complex things. But if you have something deep inside of you that's hard to express, it's that you literally have to build the neural pathways to be able to express it. It's hard. It's weird. You have to build it piece by piece. But then then they're there, and then you can just do it. How do we get rid of fear of judgment or social anxiety? I struggle with this. Like, know that you're doing a really good thing when you trigger and upset people. You're helping them. Like, it doesn't matter what they think or how they react, but if they do get triggered, that's a good thing for them. That's actually kindness. It's like you're vibrating all of their distortion so that finally it can be seen and leave. So you're actually giving them a gift if you trigger somebody. So you really shouldn't care about judgment. You're real, right? You're a real person, and what you are is really real. So reality can handle that, and so can everybody else. And if they can't, then reality will teach them to handle it, and that's their lesson, and you've just given them a very nice thing. So it just doesn't have anything to do with you, like on a factual level. It's a kindness to be really you, because you're helping people be able to metabolize reality when you are really yourself. How can I become feeling I'm not doing enough after taking risks to pursue my desires? What do you mean? Taking risks to pursue your desires is doing a lot. So, like, how are you not doing enough? Are you attaching the outcome to, like, achieving exactly what you thought? Why do we like listening to music so much? Because it's like a bath. It's like a bath. It like tunes you a little bit. How can our brains visualize things into existence in our head? Well, because you're actually just sampling the field. And so anything that's real in your head can be made real because it's just the same exact field. A house, before it gets built, is a blueprint, right? And that becomes real from the same exact field. So it's not really a different thing. Your head is not separate from physical reality. It's just a fainter, less realized version of it. If you can imagine it, it's real. Would you be open to do an interview podcast? Yeah, actually, I have a few coming up, and I've been trying to schedule some. Can you ask how old are the people in the chat? Oh no, I don't really care how old they are. Does being neurodivergent mean you're just at a higher spiritual rank? No, there's no such thing as rank. Life is easy, but if it's hard, it's because you're trying too much. Yeah, no, that's total bullshit. Total, complete bullshit. Tell that to someone in a war zone. This is one of those like bullshit spiritualities. And it's just nonsense. Anyone who's been through really hard things knows that it's nonsense. It's not helpful either. How do you reduce numbness to start to know what you want, like who you are? You have to be safe first. So make sure your nervous system is in a state of safety. Do people who feel they need to take your program suffer from lack? No, actually, my programs are the opposite of that. They give you basically total freedom of authorship in the world. So it's very, very much past lack. It's more for people who want to know how to do whatever they want to do in reality with ease. That's who they're for. So it's actually quite an advanced group. If you're working with my systems at all, I really applaud you. I really applaud you. Speaking of BS, what's the most common BS misconception in spirituality, in your opinion? That you have to earn the right to ascend or something. That you have to earn the right to become what you already are. that you have to be good, that you have to behave well, that you have to like become worthy. I think this is the biggest BS. And that you have to do all of these things. What does it mean if you're really drawn to motherhood? That's probably a code within you. It's just a code. Everybody has a different flavor. Nurturing can be one of your flavors. And focusing on new life, like that is a specialty out there. Is it necessary to move towards pain for resolution? Sometimes, yes. Would you be interested in writing fiction? Actually, yeah. But I don't think I'd be very good at it. I think actually my technical writings are like the thing I'm good at. I feel very autistic. I can't necessarily like create scenes. I think I could be a really good fiction writer if I was just purely actually describing my experiences on the other side. But if I was trying to create a scene, I just can't do it. Like, I feel fake. If you don't have to earn it, then what is the point of life? Isn't that the purpose of this game? No, it's not the purpose of this game. There's no game, and you're experiencing reality. You are here to learn whatever you can, whatever is available to learn. It's not about earning anything. You're already there. Like, as soon as you're already there right now. But you're also, as soon as you end this experience, you're there. You've never not been there. You've never not been origined there. You don't have to get there. You've always been there. That's an illusion. That's a terrible illusion. Why do we exist? Because we do. Have you ever read anything by Dolores Cannon? Yeah, I have. And I just think a lot of it is like distortion. I think a lot of it is like clever filling in of gaps because it's like really simplistic and really, I just see differently. That's all. Like in the Dolores Cannon materials, there's a lot of fear-based ideas, which you can go more refined. You can be more refined. What's the solution for having 200 notes of ideas but can rarely follow through? You need containment. You're pure flow and no containment. You have to build containment structures so that you can actually index those ideas, see what can be done, and then actually do it. That's a skill set. That's all it is a skill set, and nobody knows it. But it's not a problem with you. You're just pure flow and no containment of that flow in order to create its lasting effects. Can you talk on how you've achieved a recognition that reincarnation is real? I never achieved a recognition. I knew automatically from like the moment I was born because I have soul memories. So I never had to find that out, thankfully. I have interest in sound healing with my piano playing. Not sure if it's valid and helpful though. Anything that feels good to you is you like in your best moment. I don't know how to explain that, but like it's you totally communing with reality, and that's always sustaining. So yes, it's helpful. If that's an illusion, then what is life? Is this whole thing not a simulation? No, this is just experience, and you will continue having experience in every single layer of reality forever. Yeah, it's an illusion that you need to earn entrance to what you already are. You already are pure unconditional love at your core. You've never not been that. What you're trying to do here is express that here. So if you need a purpose, and you need to know why, it's because it's hard to express that here. You already are pure unconditional love outside of the body, but can you express that through the body? Probably not. It's probably really difficult for you. So focus on that. Focus on being what you are through the body. The body is a prism. So your light is shining through that prism. And ideally, you want what's on one side to match the other side. So it's to configure your prism so that it doesn't distort and separate, right? It naturally does automatically, but you go in and you configure it to do it less and less. So the more that you can express your soul through the body is the more successful that you're doing life, right? That's the trick. Opinion on Carl Jung's teaching. I mean, some of it's kind of good. Some of it's like super distorted. Can we come live on your farm? I mean, one day I do want to have a, not a retreat, because I don't believe in that. I literally think that anything that is not totally real, like that you can do in your real life all the time, is like not useful, almost. It's just not useful. So I don't want to run like a fake ass retreat where I'm like love and light and like everything's great, right? Okay, now go back home. I just don't believe in that. But I would like a space where it's like, it's, this is also like coming from the other side, is there's just spaces where you just go and you just sit in it and like it does stuff to you. So I would like that. I would like to make a space where you just go and be in it and do whatever you want and it just does stuff to you. If that makes sense. So I like creating environments. I like creating conditions. I like creating spaces. That's all I'm really interested in. I'm not interested in forcefully manipulating the internal parts of you. I think that I would like to just be like a background person almost, if that makes sense. I really trust y'all. Like, I trust you. I don't think you need to be puppeteered, you know? How to not be overly conscious of oneself all the time. You can be overly conscious of yourself, just don't be judging yourself. That's the only thing that's going to be making it feel bad. You can be with yourself all the time, but don't be like thinking you're bad. That's to do with yourself. So focus on loving yourself. That's the number one thing that you have to do. How do you reconcile narcissistic abuse? You have to just find out what part of you allowed that to be possible and reverse it. Which usually involves getting your self-worth in order. Isn't there a way to show scaffolding and it not be puppeteering? Well, yes, that's exactly what my systems are. They require you to initiate yourself. You're never going to see anything in any of my material unless you agree to initiate yourself. You'll notice some people in the comments say stuff like, this is literally saying nothing. Okay, that's somebody whose structure cannot metabolize it. And by design, it's gatekept by what you can access. So my work doesn't function that way. It doesn't ever require you to believe anything. It doesn't tell you things. It shows you and says, you see this within yourself, and it's no choice but to initiate yourself. So I don't think that I puppeteer. Self-worth is one of the hardest ones in this life. Everything points to being smaller, not enough. It can be hard to just be okay with things. Actually, that's not true. Life does not point to you being smaller, not enough. That's the exact tiny, fucked up aperture that you're wearing right now as a lens. Life actually is constantly trying to show you how much you are and how beautiful and amazing you are. And you're blocking it all out. You're filtering it all out, actually. So try to switch your focus. Try to, like, literally, it's really hard, but switch your focus to any evidence that isn't true. And just do that as much as you possibly can, and you will begin dissolving that filter. Can you talk more about having children and spiritual connection with that? Can you be more specific? Is our soul individuated? Does it have individual traits? So yeah, what makes your soul individual is not like traits. It's your rhythm. And at the like most compressed level I can say this is it's the rate at which you learn and recurse. Like, it's the rate with which you complete your own loop. That's actually what gives the feeling of individuality. So it's a rhythm. It's a delay rhythm. That is what is the signature of your soul, is that delay rhythm. And everybody has a different one. Everybody has a different rhythm. And everybody recurses and learns at a different rate. That's actually what is individual. But you're making me not want to die right now. Oh, great. That's so good. You have probably a lot to do here. So thinking I'm not valuable is a filter as well. Yeah, it's absolutely a filter. The opposite is true. So think of how deep and fucking hard it was to install too. How many times as a child did you have to hear certain things before you started running it yourself? Probably a lot. It's really hard to reverse those, but absolutely it's a filter. And there is existing evidence all around you that it's not true. So you have to actually dare to believe that evidence. Is the polarity integration on your site all you need, basically? I mean, you don't need anything. Like, all of my systems will just reveal a lot to you and give you a lot to work with and a lot of control space. It's like it's giving you your control panel back. So nobody, for thousands of years, people have been without their control panel. And it's not that that's wrong or bad. It's that you can also have access to your control panel and have an easier time. I have a fear of death, but constantly feel like my life is meaningless or has no purpose. Perhaps you haven't connected with your purpose yet. A really good way to find a purpose is to look to your pain. What have you been through? What have only you been through? What is your story? What's the thing that you have an intimate idea of what is wrong? Not what is right, but what is wrong. What particularly have you been exposed to that hurt you? That's your exact onus that you can do something about. If you have a vantage point of something being wrong, that means it's your responsibility to put any amount of effort into correcting it or being the antidote to it. So that can be very purposeful right away, if you can see anything like that first. So for example, if you went through abuse, making it your mission to like help other people who've been through that exact same thing, that will automatically give you purpose, and it'll essentially transmute your pain because you're using it to be loving. So it automatically transmutes it. Do you accept Darwinian evolution? No, it's not pure adaptation based. It's not purely adaptation based. What if you weren't accepted? Nobody is accepted, to be honest. Like, everybody in society has a different level of not being accepted, right? I mean, I was never accepted anywhere I went. Literally anywhere I went, I was not accepted. That actually can more quickly propel you into self-acceptance, because at some point it becomes so absurd. It becomes so absurd to be walking around and everything seemingly reflect that you're not accepted. It's so absurd that it like kicks you out of the delusion. So being not accepted and experiencing pain and negativity can actually be a very, very fast way to find the truth, because it just becomes so absurd that it can't possibly be true. Like, it's unsustainable for that to be the case. Reality wouldn't work if it was true. Did your health issues ever become an issue after having kids? No, a lot of my health issues were like helped by having kids. I think it's because it forced a lot of integration naturally to have children. You have to integrate fast certain things, and that just automatically upgrades your system. Yeah, when you accept yourself, you give others a chance to accept you. Yeah, and you also give them a chance to accept themselves. If they see someone proudly being and loving it, then maybe they can do it too. They've survived. So maybe I'll survive loving myself too. Does your partner do this work? I don't have a partner. Thoughts on gnosis? Do you believe thoughts? I don't know about samsara. I don't know. I don't look at other things. Any good tips or advice on healing money wounds regarding scarcity? It's funny because I'm not exactly the best person to talk about this, because even though I was born to like poverty, basically, I never had a scarcity mindset. I never had it. I never healed it. I came in with abundance codes, and I very much feel very abundant. And even when I don't have anything, like I can feel in the field everything that is possible, and it just doesn't feel like it's not with me. So like, I don't know. And it makes it easy to bring it out. Indigenous Maori knowledge systems in New Zealand very much reflect your understanding. I love that. Yeah, I think a lot of Indigenous, we need Indigenous systems. We need Indigenous wisdom. We need indigenous to be everywhere. Like everything, all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom. I think that is the true wisdom. Have you studied planetary circuits and their connections with the human body? I'm going to be honest with you. If there's something to study, I think I've studied it. Especially as it relates to cross-domain things. I've mapped everything to each other. So like I see connection in everything. Would you say it's more accurate to say that chakras are energy clusters than centers? Not necessarily, no. It's like nodes and pathways, right? So nodes have a purpose. Every organ has a purpose and does a different job. It's an organ. It's just an organ as well of your astral body. How to stop masking my autism as a trauma response to bullying? I mean, who's bullying you? Because the first thought is you don't need to unmask for anybody's approval or to mask for anybody's approval. It only matters if you're with yourself. So like, I wouldn't even focus on other people or unmasking for other people. I would focus on unmasking for yourself. So you deserve that. Like, you're a person who was a little child who deserves to just sit in the grass on the playground and just feel what you're feeling, right? If you know that you deserve that and don't deserve to be hyper vigilant and worrying, you don't deserve that. So just don't do it and feel at least a few times like the deep relief of just being and existing. And that's what you should focus on. That's contagious. So actually neurotypical people are masking as well. And they'll never approve or disapprove of you based on what you actually are. It's based on what they feel about themselves. So the real only hope you have is to unmask and to feel great in your own self. And the most effect that you should ever hope for in the outside is that you inspire authenticity in others, which is absolutely possible if you unmask, right? That's the only way that... think of also a little neurodivergent child who might be walking past you. If they see you being authentic, they will know that it's safe for them in the world to be that way when they grow up. So there's just so many deep, good reasons why it's worth it for loving reasons to unmask. But it should never be for another person, I would say. How do you know if your diaphragm isn't working? Well, you should feel like pressure being created as you breathe, and it should feel like it's moving down. So a lot of people's is locked, and it will feel like your chest breathing, and it will also not feel like anything is moving down. So yeah, it should feel like it's moving down and that pressure is being actively created. And it should also feel like it's opening like an umbrella 360 degrees, not just in the front, but also in your back. So those are some indications. Thoughts on mudras? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Sometimes I find myself like naturally doing them. So I think they're a naturally occurring thing. Is the frequency we vibe like permanent or set, or is it fluid and changing? It's always changing. It's a readout of you at that moment. So it's always changing. Do you feel fabrics carry different frequencies, some higher than others? I don't think I feel that as much as like some, or what some would like to be true. Like, I just don't feel, I'm not averse to much in the outside world. I'm not averse. I don't feel like bad about anything. So that's kind of it. Let's see. What's that question? What part of the world are you at? Hawaii. Do I have a course for the diaphragm? Yeah, the somatic polarity masterclass will go deep into everything to do with the diaphragm and breathing, and also chronic illnesses and just the body in general and the cascade, and like how each body part, how you can read it, like how you can know what's going on, etc. How do you study everything? Well, it's like a map and a web. Information is a web, so you can access anything from any part. I enjoy that very much. I like filling in the web. What do people mean when they say there's truth and there's divine truth? I don't know. To me, truth is anything that survives every level of reality. So a truth is not a truth if you have to be, meditating 12 hours a day in order to find. You can find it right now. Like, there's no truth that isn't everywhere all the time. That's what I would say. Evan, yeah, the web. I know that neurodivergent people know what I'm talking about with the web. Let's see. Why sometimes we need other people as mirrors and sometimes not? Well, because sometimes mirrors are helpful. That's it. They're intentionally there because they're helpful. But everything is a mirror to you, actually. It's more your allowance of it being a mirror. How does being a mom help integrate more? It requires a massive capacity in every domain imaginable. So you're basically quickly integrating. And it also requires you to take a look at every single thing in your life and that you've ever thought in every single one of your programs, if you're doing it consciously. How do you develop self-love? It's not to develop, it's to uncover it. It's always there. It's there underneath all of the programs you're running that tell you it's something to develop. When you see good reasons to make a choice in multiple emotional states, is it a good choice? Yeah, probably. It needs to survive multiple states at least. That's a good metric. The web is the Akashic record. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Akashic records are. Like, I think I've always just seen the field of information. It's just a Rolodex. It's like, you navigate by resonance. How do you actually channel info? I mean, you just have access to the web, to the field. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go, actually. I've been on here a long time. Okay, I love you guys. I will upload this to YouTube as soon as it's processed, probably like tonight or tomorrow. Oh, thank you, thank you.